It's Ash from Super Videos back for another live Q&A. This is Q&A number 177. We're talking about Season 10, Episode 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead. Episode 1 was called Lines We Cross. Episode 2, We Are at the End of the World, which is going to air tonight. Without further ado, let's jump right into the chat questions. Ronnie Thomas, hi Ash. Hi, how are you? Glad you could join, Ronnie. Ronnie Thomas, so I watched this episode on the relationship between Alpha and Beta. It's sort of cute, but disturbing. Well, first thing, this is a no spoiler chat, so if you've seen the episode, it'll be great if you don't talk about spoilers or things like that until everyone sees the episode, or at least until like Sunday night, after Sunday night, so that at least I watch it and this community that or this community most likely will watch it by that. I mean, the community that we have. So that's that. But yeah, I am very excited to see the dynamic between Alpha and Beta in this episode. Ronnie Thomas, do you think Sadiq might have actually betrayed the others to save his life or protect Rosita and the baby? I think it is a possibility. I did a video on that. I think there's a chance. It's a bit of a stretch, but I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised that much. Even though it's a little bit of a stretch, I wouldn't be surprised if they go that route. But I hope they don't, because like I talked about in my video, it undermines Carl's death a little bit. Whisper Omega, hey there everyone, I am new to the channel. I'm going to assume that this is a spoiler-free channel. Yes, it is. I haven't seen Tunnel 2 and haven't read anything about it on spoilers. Or about it, so no spoilers. Yeah, absolutely, there's no spoilers on this channel. We have a couple moderators who will remove the comments. Hopefully they'll join us in today's stream. If they don't, I'll try to find them and remove the chats if there's any spoilers. Hopefully without spoiling it for myself. But yeah, this is a no spoiler community. Ronnie Thomas, how do you think Lydia and Negan might be with their relationship? The relationship between those two characters is very interesting. They are very different, but at the same time, they are so much alike. You know what I mean? They're alike in a way where both of them are enemies. They have been changed. You know what I mean? Negan and Lydia can have a very interesting relationship going forward. I could definitely see Negan or Lydia getting parts of Carl's comic arc with Negan. Parts. Obviously, there are parts that need to be given to Judith for it to make sense. But there are parts that they might actually give to Lydia. For example, and I don't want to go into spoilers, but there's a part in the comics where there are a couple people picking on Carl and he gets into a fight with them. And Negan's kind of there to help Carl a little bit. I think that could definitely be given to Lydia if they play their cards right, in a way. Ronnie Thomas, do you think Daryl and Carol might leave to New Mexico in Season 10's finale? I hope they don't. If those two leave, then the show is really going to... It's going to be interesting to see if it can survive. Because Michonne's going to be gone. Maggie comes back, but Michonne is gone. Rick is gone. So if you take both Daryl and Carol out, that could be a dangerous move. Whisper Omega, I read a theory about how Alpha and Beta settled on wearing Walker skin, since Alpha and Lydia already wore Walker blood and Beta wears a ski mask. Maybe the pieces came together just like that. Absolutely, and I think that's probably where they're going with it. That makes a lot of sense, because in the sneak peek of the trailer, or in the sneak peek and the trailer, I think, and the images, we do see Beta in the past, before he met up with Alpha and Lydia. He was wearing a mask. Obviously, Lydia and Alpha were putting Walker blood on themselves. So I could definitely see those two matching. You know what I mean? Putting their spin on things together in order to create the whispers. And I'm very, very interested to see whether that's true and how that's going to go. Ronnie Thomas, I understand, man. No spoilers, promise. No worries. I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page. Whisper Omega, what I mean is that Alpha and Beta had a discussion about the idea of wearing walker skin. The walker skin idea would be more efficient and effective than walker blood, which is less effective. Yes, absolutely. And also, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but more sanitary a little bit than just putting the walker blood on you. You could definitely get sick more often from that than letting the skin dry and then wearing it. You know what I mean? And again, I can't believe I'm saying that, but that's probably part of why they transitioned into that, so that they don't get sick. Giuseppe De Rosa, am I late? No, you're not. We started like 7 minutes ago, like 7-8 minutes ago. So you're not late, Giuseppe. Glad you could join. Ronnie Thomas, do you think Kelly might die because of her ear problems? If you mean she could get in a situation where the ear problem causes her to not see like a threat coming and she could get bit or killed by a whisper or something like that, that's possible. But the ear problem alone, I don't think that could kill you. You know what I mean? But I could see where you're going with it if the first thing I said is what you have in mind. Like if you think because of her ear problem she can't hear the threat, that could cause her to get killed, that's possible. Whisper Omega, why are people still giving Lydia the cold shoulder? She's not like her mother, and granted that she was with her mom and the Whisperers, but she left them to be with Michonne and the others. I don't think any of the characters who know what she's been through really give her the cold shoulder, like Carol or Michonne or anyone like that. I think it's outsiders, people who are just residents of the communities that don't necessarily know what Alpha's about, and at this point there's like this kind of what do you call it? They feel like the threat is just around the corner. There's paranoia. So all of those put together lead these people to want to find someone to blame. And the only person they can blame is Lydia. And they can let out their frustration on Lydia. So I think that's pretty much what it's about, rather than, the people who blame her or give her the cold shoulder, really thinking about who she is, what is she about, and does it make sense for us to really, treat her this way? So I think it's a little bit of that. Mario, what's up? Chat and others. How are you, Mario? Glad you could join. Ronnie Thomas, do you think these could still have more satellites in space? There could still be more satellites in space. Absolutely. I don't think they'll show more satellite crashes in the future, but there's definitely more satellite crashes. Or more satellites, I mean, in the sky. But I don't think we'll see something like this again in The Walking Dead. Mario, did you watch the episode? I have not watched the episode yet. No. And a lot of people haven't on the chat, so no spoilers, please. Whisper Omega, Kelly slowly losing her earring caught me by surprise. Wasn't expecting that. Now I think that Connie and Kelly both have a 50-50 chance of dying this season. Yeah, I mean, I think Connie a little less than Kelly, but I could see both of them getting killed this season, because think about it, it's going to be a war season for the first half. So a lot of these background characters could die, and also no one from Magnus Group has died yet. So I think it's just a matter of time. Mario, without spoiling performance of Ryan Hurst and Samantha Morton tonight, is amazing. I think they're probably best alpha beta actors they could have picked. Yeah, they've been killing it so far as both alpha and beta. So I can't wait to see what they're gonna do this episode in terms of their performance. Giuseppe De Rosa, I missed Friday's live stream. No worries, but you're here now, so we're all good. Thanks for joining again. Ronnie Thomas, why is Dante such a jerk? Dante is weird. Dante in the comics is different. I don't know how I feel about Dante in the TV show. He has this weird vibe that I just can't get over. I'm not going to judge it too early. I'm going to wait to see what he's about. But I'm not feeling the character at the moment. Walker Killer 03, what's up, dude? How are you, Walker Killer? Glad you could join us. Whisper Omega, I wonder if we're going to see Alpha cry over Lydia being gone. We saw this in 9:15, but considering that we will see younger Lydia tonight, it would make sense to see Alpha mourn over Lydia leaving. Yeah, I think we could see that when she's by herself. When she's with the Whisperers, she tends to not show her vulnerable side as much. And like I said before, in the flashbacks, that might be the most vulnerable we could see Alpha throughout this whole Alpha story that we've seen so far, which is going to be very interesting. Ronnie Thomas, when Lara said, should Lydia be here, I wanted to say to her, remind me who was the savior and raid over to other communities. Yeah, and I think they could have had any character say that, but they intentionally had her say it to bring out the impact even more. For us to go, who is she to judge? You know, who's supposed to be there? She was an ex-savior herself, you know what I mean? I feel like if they gave that to, for example, Gabriel or someone else, or anyone for that matter, it wouldn't have had the same impact. So I think they did it on purpose, and it got the message across, obviously. Giuseppe De Rosa, The Walking Dead still has a void without Rick. Yes, but at the same time, I'm very surprised that they've been able to pull it off so far. Because even though, yeah, there are moments where we're like, we miss Rick, it doesn't really put a void in the story as much. Yes, we want him back, but the story went on without Rick, and it's working so far. So I think that I'm surprised that they've been able to do what they've been able to do without Rick. So that's great. And it goes to show Angela Kang's abilities as a showrunner. And I hope they follow that up with Michonne's exit as well. And it doesn't mess up after Michonne leaves, or the story doesn't get bland, or that it doesn't, or Michonne's exit doesn't impact the story as much, because without Rick and Michonne, it could get very, very hard to keep viewers in and keep the story interesting. Whisper Omega, speaking of Lara, she looks so different compared to her time with Negan and the Saviors, and I mean that in a good way. Yeah, she's definitely changed in a good way. She's helping the group, she's contributing, so she's definitely a Savior that had a good turnaround. Yeah, I'm still very interested, and I can't believe they haven't done it so far. A scene between Lara and Negan now. You know what I mean? That would be very interesting. I'm surprised they haven't done that so far. Whisper Omega, Samantha Morton looks so much like Alpha from the comics, and really absorbs herself into the character of Alpha. Yeah, she's been killing it. At this point, I can't see anyone else other than Samantha Morton playing Alpha. She's been bringing that character to life in a way I don't think anyone could have. Walker Killer 03, hey, what do you think of the posters we got so far, with B in the standard covered art for The Walking Dead Season 10 Blu-ray DVD? With B the standard cover... Wait, I just read that wrong, I think. What do you think of the posters we got so far? Will it be the standard cover art for The Walking Dead Season 10 Blu-ray? I think I get what you mean. You're talking about what do I think the cover art for the DVD or the Blu-ray will be for Season 10. I think it'll be The one with Michonne, Daryl, and Carol in black and white. I think that'll be the one. It could be the other one as well, with the one that's red and yellow. It could be that one too. I hope not. I think the black and white fits better. Ronnie Thomas, I want to see more Rosita and Coco together. Yeah, we could see a lot more of them in the future. We're only like one episode in. I hope they don't go overboard with it, but I do want to see a bit more with them as well. Whisper Omega, Samantha Morton looks so much like Alpha. Oh, I just read that one. Yeah, that one was the comment that was halfway down here. Anyway, Ronnie Thomas, who's better, father, Siddiq or Eugene? That's a great question. I would say depends what they do with Siddiq, and whether the things that we've been talking about him being a traitor is true. At this point, I would say Eugene has done a lot more for the baby than Siddiq has, but let's not judge it too quickly. Let's wait to see what happens in the future. Mario, I heard Alpha will outlive her comic death. She's been seen filming near the end of the season, so that's another good thing because I really like her. Well, here's the thing. I hope the Whisper story is not the entire season. And that scares me because it seems like it might be. That it could work, but if season 8 is anything to go by, a full season of war won't work. Unless they have the first half be the Cold War feel mostly, and then really get into the war in the second half. I could see that. But again, I really hope they give us some Commonwealth stuff this season as well, which seems like they will, because Princess is cast, and from the comics we know when Princess comes on, it's only a matter of time before Commonwealth is introduced. So it's tough to call, but I hope they give us a good season. I don't care if it's one full season of the Whisperers War or whether they mix it up, but I hope they give us a good season. Epic Zombie Killer, Q&A hash, I'm interested to see Princess in the TV show, hoping she'll be better than the comic version. I hope so. The comic version was just a little bit too comic booky, let's just say. She's a little too colorful in the comics. I hope they make it more realistic and grounded in reality in the TV show. They did that with King Ezekiel. Yes, he was the same King Ezekiel, but it was a little more grounded in reality. I hope it's a similar thing. Did I just skip a bunch of questions? It did. It jumped down. Let me go back. Whisper Omega, there's a question that I've been asked over and over again on different forms. Is Alpha's desire for power stronger than her love for Lydia? Very interesting question. I think it is. I think her desire for not only power, but seeing the Whisperers thrive is much stronger than her love for Lydia and wanting to keep Lydia safe. That's what we can see so far. They could change it. They could have Alpha change a little bit, but so far that's what we've been seeing. Ronnie Thomas, and since Michonne is leaving, I feel like Rosita might become a much more important character. I think with her gone, with Michonne gone, two characters are going to be really focused, or three, focused on. And they're going to get a little more story. Carol, she's already got a lot, but I think Carol, Maggie, who's going to be coming back, and Rosita. I think those three will be getting a good amount of story with Michonne gone going forward. Giuseppe De Rosa, OMG, the princess character in the comics sucks. I hope they make her interesting in the show. Absolutely. Epic Zombie Killer, Q&A, hey Ash, I'm guessing Maggie won't be back till the second half of season 10. I think so too. They haven't confirmed necessarily. They have hinted at it, but they haven't confirmed. But I think that makes the most sense. Whisper Omega, I mean, if Samantha Morton is your lead villain, you probably want to utilize her as much as possible. Also, I think it would be good to flesh out TV Alpha more than comic Alpha. Absolutely. They've already fleshed her out more in the TV show than the comics. I hope that they do give us a little bit of a twist. Like the comic had like a bit of a twist, Alpha dying early. So I hope they give us a little bit of a twist. Not necessarily that they follow the comic stuff, but I hope to see a little bit of a twist. And it's not and it doesn't go as expected, because then, you know, what's fun about that? Brian Acom, do you think Daryl will ever get a haircut? His hair looks so stale. I mean, he hasn't gotten a haircut so far. I don't see a reason why he would in the future. Daryl's hair is part of his character, part of who he is. Brian Acom, why did they make Dante a doctor? I mean, they wanted to change the story a little bit from the comics. And because Maggie's not in the story right now, they couldn't necessarily follow that story. So they remixed it a little bit. Whisper Omega, the only way I could see Princess coming into the scene is by Maggie returning and Princess will be with her. That's a great prediction. I've heard that before, and I think that makes sense. Whether Princess was with Maggie in Georgie's community, that's a different story. She could have tagged along the way. I mean, with Maggie. But that's a great prediction. Giuseppe De Rosa, I watched the episode, of course. I won't spoil, but I will say I'm glad they added Gamma, adds more layers to this group. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what they are going to do with Gamma. It's an interesting choice to bring on a third Whisper, aside from Lydia, because the comics didn't have that. So that's very interesting. And also the fact that they followed the Whisper's naming conventions, like Alpha, Beta, Gamma. They didn't do that in the comics. They just had Alpha and Beta. So that's also very interesting that they added in. Part of why they added that in could be because they wanted to stretch the Whisperer story a little bit more, and they couldn't necessarily do that. And I don't mean stretch in a bad way. I mean stretch meaning that they wanted to flesh out their story a little bit more, or their group a little bit more. And they couldn't do that if they just followed the comic stuff, because some of that wasn't there. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. But I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with that. Walker Killer 03. By the way, this is Kate Woody. I just changed my username. LOL. Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know, and thanks for joining again, Cade. Brian Acom, why do you think Carol didn't shoot at Alpha last episode? There are many reasons. I don't think she had a gun. She didn't want to necessarily start something then and there, too. And part of that, she didn't know what would be the outcome of that. She didn't want to just act on emotion right there. She wanted to think about it a little bit more. And the third reason is she was surprised to see her there. She wasn't expecting her, so she didn't have something planned right away. Giuseppe De Rosa, Samantha Morton knows how to play a psycho. So far, that's what it seems like, and I think she's been killing it, like I said. Epic Zombie Killer, I don't know why you keep deleting Brian's message. It doesn't seem like there's anything there. So just like make sure that you only delete the messages if there have any spoilers in them, or if there's anything there that is not good. You know what I mean? Like cursing or anything like that. Like not just cursing, but bullying or things like that from other chat members, not necessarily me. So yeah, don't just delete the messages because so far it doesn't seem like there's anything there that, you know, would make us want to delete that message or those messages from Brian Acom. Epic Zombie Killer Q&A, hey, I know the season 10 premiere got 4 million views. That's still better than Fear, which only stayed at 1 million viewers during season 5. Yes, and the other thing, you mentioned the views. There's two things. One, they aired that a week early, or on AMC Premiere, people could watch it a week early, so that added to it. And others, a lot of people watch it online. They don't watch it live. That's the other part of it. I don't mean, or I don't think necessarily that the views is, it could be, but I don't think in this case it's a reflection of how popular the show is or how much people are watching the show right now. Whisper Omega, Dante or Siddiq will probably die in this season because they could only be one Doctor in the Walking Dead universe. Enid was sacrificed to the Doctor Death last season, So which Doctor is next? I'm putting my money on Siddiq. I think there's a lot more they could do with that than if they just kill a new character, Siddiq, or a new character, Dante, who was just introduced. Does that really add anything to the story? But Siddiq's death could. Brian Acom, do you think Maggie will have a good explanation why she's been gone so long? Because she better. Not only Maggie, but the writers better have a good way to justify that. Where did I go? Epic Zombie Killer. Q&A hash. So far, I'm satisfied. I'm excited for this episode tonight. Absolutely. I can't wait for this episode. We get to see more Whisperers. We get to see a lot more reveals about the Whisperers. Can't wait. Giuseppe De Rosa, my prediction is the Whisper War will end in the mid-season finale, and it will end with the giant-ass herd going into Alexandria. I think the finale, mid-season finale, if I'm going to make a prediction, I think the mid-season finale is going to be the quote-unquote official end of the Whisper War. Maybe we won't see Alpha and Beta die then, but the Whisper's threat will be gone. And then maybe early on in the second half, we will see both of those Alpha and Beta die, and that'll be the actual end of the Whisper War. Epic Zombie Killer Q&A, hey Ash, I don't know what to think about Dante. He's very odd, very different than the comic version. Absolutely, and I don't know how to feel about that just yet. I'll wait till I see him a little bit more and then judge whether I like it or not, like the change. Walker Killer 03, do you think that we will get Rosita and Coco death this season? If so, do you think they would give or get Lori and Judith's comic death? Instead of the governor in the show, it would be Alpha. I don't think they're going to go there. They could, but I don't think they will. And just to answer your question, I think Rosita and Coco are most likely safe. this season. Siddiq may not be. Just gonna do something here real quick. And then I'll jump back into the questions. Where was I? Brian Acom, do you think Judith will have to kill someone this season? Yes. It's gonna be a war situation. If she's in the front lines, which maybe she will be, she has to. Ronnie Thomas, do you think Rosita will, or with her bat versus Alpha, could be a good fight? Yes, it could be, but it would be underwhelming. I feel like giving the fight to Carol and Alpha would be a better fitting fight or showdown. And if there's too many showdowns between Alpha and different characters, it could be too much. It could take away from the impact of what the showdown is supposed to represent. Giuseppe De Rosa. Hey, Zombie Killer, why did you remove Brian's comment? Yeah, I don't know why Epic Zombie Killer keeps removing the comments. I did remove remove him as a moderator for now to see what's going on, like what's going on there. But there isn't anything there in Brian's comments to be removed. But yeah, I don't know why. Epic Zombie Killer, you don't need to remove the comments. There's no spoilers there. Epic Zombie Killer, funny because Ezekiel, when he was introduced in season 7, he was wearing the same outfit from the comics, the shirt with the stars, but in the comics it was brighter and more pink and yellow. Yeah, like they made it a little bit more grounded in reality in a way where he didn't have that comic booky feel to him in the TV show. Ezekiel, I mean. Brian Acom, why were my comments deleted? I have no idea, man, but everything is good now. Your comments should be good right now. Ronnie Thomas, what would have happened if instead of Henry to die, it was Carol who got killed? How would that change? I think, for one, there might have been a little bit of a negative reaction from fans. It wouldn't have added anything to the story. This way, it added a bit more to the story. If it was Ezekiel, it would have been a similar situation or a similar type of thing. But I think it fit more with Henry because of Carol's past and because she has a habit of losing kids. You know what I mean? But I think it would have been very different if Carol's head was on the pikes for the story. Ronnie Thomas, how do you think Maggie might come back? Great question. I'll have to think about it and do a separate video on it. Right now, we don't have anything to go by. I have no idea. She just shows up, I guess. But maybe if we wait. Epic Zombie Killer Q&A, hey Ash, do you see Maggie and Dante hooking up like they did in the comics? At this point, no, because Not right now. Because there isn't any kind of bond between Maggie and Dante. It would be super weird for Maggie to show up. Dante's never seen her probably, and for Dante to start being aggressive towards Maggie in a way where he wants her. In the comics, it was like that. It wouldn't work because in the comics, Dante knew Maggie for a long time, and they made that work. So in the show, I don't think it'll work the same way. Giuseppe De Rosa Dante introduction was poorly done. They made him feel very weird. Yeah, and I'm not gonna judge it right now. I'm gonna wait to see what they do. But yeah, it was weird. It was really weird. Okay, we're 38 minutes in. I'm gonna rush through some of these comments and then we'll end the stream here. Ronnie Thomas, how do you think Rick might have handled or reacted to Alpha's opinions of life? I think Rick would have reacted the same way Michonne did. There's a lot of things Michonne's done ever since Alpha's introduction or the Whisperer's introduction that feels more or less similar to what Rick would have done. So I think in a lot of ways it would have been similar. It would have been very cool to see Alpha versus Rick or to see them together like the comics, but you know, it is what it is. Whisper, Omega, please don't potential spoilers because there's a chance it would be true. So please no. Yeah, please don't share anything that remotely could be a spoiler. If it's a rumor, let's not talk about it when we're this close to the episode. Let's talk about those theories or rumors afterwards, in case they actually happen. Ronnie Thomas, if you could play a character in the show, who would you play? It would have been great to be Rick. Maybe, you know what? It would have been great to be a, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say either Rick or Negan. Those two. You know, those are great characters to play, I feel. Epic Zombie Killer Q&A, hey Ash, I'm loving the show. Whisperers, they are far better than the comics. I love how they are getting so much backstory in the show. It's awesome. Yeah, and it could feel like it's too much if they continue doing this, but I think that right now it's worked so far. I don't think another flashback would work after the one we're gonna get tonight, but who knows? Maybe. Let's see where it goes. And so what I can say is so far it's working. Giuseppe De Rosa asked you could make a good Siddiq. I've gotten that a lot. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if Siddiq is really the type of character that one would want to play as a fan. Not as an actor, as a fan. Because, you know, he's not really that badass. He doesn't really have anything there that makes him special. You know what I mean? Nothing against the actor or the character. But as a fan, there are other characters you would want to play, like Rick, Negan, Daryl. Brian Acom, I'm excited to see the Commonwealth. It'll blow a lot of people's minds. Yeah, I think it will. Especially non-comic readers. And depending on how they go about it, they could make it very, very interesting. Like, they could make the show feel very different. Ronnie Thomas, why didn't Daryl just kill Alpha when she arrived in Hilltop? I would say they don't know what they're dealing with. They don't want to act and then have to deal with the consequences after. Whisper Omega, I still want to know what Gamma would have done to unsettle the pack. Like Beta says, did she piss off some of the Whisperers? Did she almost get Beta killed? So curious to know tonight. Yeah, that's very interesting. I initially didn't understand what that even meant, But thinking about it, it probably means that she did or someone did something, most likely Gamma, that made the herd or the pack, the Whisperer pack, most likely unsettled, and she did something that could mess up, or that could what do you call it? Threaten the Whisperers, threaten the leadership. That's what I got from it afterwards when I thought about it. Big zombie killer, it was an accident. Not sure what that's about. Maybe you're still talking about removing the comments. That's fine, man. Don't worry about it. I'll re-add you back to the moderators next stream when you join. You're already a moderator right now in the chat, but I removed you outside. So either I'll do it outside after the chat, or if I don't remember, then I'll do it in the next chat. Ronnie Thomas, I think if Rick was there, the story would have been, or changed, wouldn't have changed that much. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Giuseppe De Rosa, not even the show The 100 is close to 4 million views. I don't watch that show. It just jumped. There's a lot of comments that come in, and we're like 44 minutes in. I'm gonna try to rush through these as quickly as I can. Let's just say this. I'm gonna go all the way to Epic Zombie Killer's question here. And then I'm not gonna answer anymore after that, because I do have to end the stream, but there's a lot of comments that came in. So I'll go all the way to here, and then we won't do any more questions after that. Whisper Omega, I mean, Commonwealth story in the comics was underwhelming, but the fact that a community that large exists would blow people's minds. But hopefully in the TV show version, it'll be better executed, much better. Yeah, I think they rushed it in the comics a little bit. In the TV show, I think they're gonna do that justice. And I think it'll blow people away, absolutely, especially non-comic readers. Ronnie Thomas, Beta versus Jason, who will win for you? Who is Jason? I don't know who Jason is. Jason Voorhees? I would say Jason Voorhees. Mario, instead of Commonwealth story, they will add CRM to TV series ending. I guarantee you. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know about the CRM still. We know a lot more than we used to, but there's still a lot of things that are hidden from us, so we can't really decide. But I think the Commonwealth and the CRM are going to be very different. They're going to be completely separate. Giuseppe De Rosa, AMC premiere takes away from the views. Absolutely. Mario, since we know now, what does it mean? Yeah, again, I think the Commonwealth and CRM are completely separate. I think they're not gonna end the TV show anytime soon. And I think there's a lot more that they have hidden in terms of what the CRM are. You could be right about what you said, but it's too early for us to speculate that. Whisper Omega, I mean, judging by my name, I should know what Gamma did, lol, but I'm a uncasted Whisper at the moment. Alpha sent me to hunt, so I don't know what's going on back at my camp with the Whispers, lol. I have no idea what the comment was, but thank you for commenting. Giuseppe De Rosa, CRM is actually 3 big communities, according to Scott Gimple. Yeah, I did read that interview, and I did a video on it. That's what I meant. Like, we got a lot more reveals from that interview, but still, there's a lot more that we don't know. Brian Acom, do you think the Whisperers will destroy a community this season? I think so. And I'm putting my money on, at this point, still Hilltop, like the comics. For a time, I thought it was Oceanside when we saw the forest fire, because obviously I couldn't even, pretend like I knew that there was going to be a satellite crash. Like, it took me out of, or it definitely surprised me. It was revealed, or it was spoiled before the episode, but when the actual images came out and when the trailer came out, when the forest fire stuff was revealed, we didn't know about the satellite stuff. So in my head, I was like, they're going to have the Whisperers attack Oceanside instead of Hilltop like the comics. But obviously that's not going to happen anymore. But at this point, I think it's going to still be Hilltop that's going to be attacked. Whisper Omega, I've heard some people say that Maggie could beat Alpha in a 1-versus-1 fight. Maggie couldn't even beat that one savior chick in season 6. Alpha also seems more skilled than Maggie in close combat. I agree with you. I don't think Maggie can beat Alpha one-on-one. Mario, Whisper War will end with episode 16. Whisper War hasn't even started, and it's just episode 2. I think the Whisper's War will officially kick off in like episode 6 or 7. And it'll officially end, I think, in episode like 9 or 10, I think. Mario Whisper War, no, I just read that one. Whisper Omega, so sorry Maggie fans, but Alpha would handedly beat her in the hand-to-hand combat. Yeah, I think so. I think that's very accurate. Epic Zombie Killer Q&A, hey Ash, since the comics ended after the Commonwealth, will the show do the same, or will it go past the comics and get more stories? I think it's going to go past with more stories. Brian Acom, Whisper Omega, remember when Michonne got thrashed by Garbage Lady? Yeah, I remember that. That was a little BS though. Michonne could have handled her, to be honest. Whisper Omega, I wonder how much build up the Whisper's War will get. 1001 and 1002 are building up to the war, but what about the rest of the episodes in season 10A? Will they build up to the war? I think they're gonna build up to the war until episode 4 or 5, and then that's gonna officially end episode 10 or maybe 11. Whisper Omega. Yup, Michonne got beaten pretty badly by the Garbage Lady, and then she couldn't handle that savior chick that she got into a sword fight with because she wasn't fully healed. Yeah. I think when Michonne is ready, no one can beat her. No one can even beat her. But yeah. Mario, 10A will be Silence the Whispers, 10B War. That's possible, definitely. But I think it's not going to be as clear cut as that. I think, like I said, the first half of the season will be the Cold War, will be the Silence the Whispers story. And then the second half will be the actual war. And then it's going to spill over into the second half a little bit. Brian Acom, why do survivors put walker blood on their face to hide their smell? It only needs to be on their bodies. I mean, yes and no. You could be right. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But yes, you definitely need to put it on your body, but the face helps as well. Epic Zombie Killer Q&A, Ash, I wonder how long Ezekiel will last in the show. I love this character. Or his character. I don't think he'll live past season 11, to be honest. I think this season is Ezekiel's final season. I think. Brian Acom, Daryl would destroy Alpha if she kills Carol. No mercy. Absolutely. If Alpha kills Carol, I don't even think that Lydia's safety would or Lydia, for Lydia's sake, Daryl would not destroy Alpha. Like, if there's a situation where if Daryl kills Alpha, Lydia could also get killed, Daryl wouldn't care if Alpha kills Carol. You know what I mean? Giuseppe De Rosa, Season 5 Rick versus Beta. He has a lot of body advantage. Brian Acom, did they establish if Dante recently joined the group or was he always there, but we never saw him? They never talked about that. But I think we are led to believe that he just joined. Epic Zombie Killer, by the way, what happened to Dante in the comics? He vanished in the comics after Commonwealth. Yeah, they not only Dante, a lot of characters they completely forgot about after the Whisperer story. Is that as far as I was going to go? I don't even remember. I think I was going to go all the way to here. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you think Dante is gay? He could be. We don't see anything proving that at this point, but we could see that. Epic Zombie Killer, I wonder how Merle would have reacted to the Whisperers. Merle would have kicked ass, for one, but yeah, I don't know how he would have reacted. That's a great question, though. Epic Zombie Killer, by the way, Ash, if Morgan dies in Fear, I'm done. I'm not watching that show anymore. Even if he doesn't, I'm not watching anymore. I might watch like the first episode, season 6, to see if they reveal Morgan dies or not. And I'm not going to watch like the minute it comes out. I'm going to watch whenever I get a chance. But after that, I'm probably never going to watch Fear again. Giuseppe De Rosa, Siddiq's character is overrated. Yes, he is. He hasn't done much anyway. Giuseppe De Rosa, Aaron is definitely underrated. He doesn't get enough good story. Yes, he doesn't. And I'm very excited to see the story they're going to give Aaron this season. Epic Zombie Killer. By the way, speaking of Siddiq, he said he would honor Carl, but he hasn't been doing that. Yeah, he hasn't done much to honor Carl, to be honest. Giuseppe De Rosa, the only thing keeping Walking Dead alive is hardcore fans. Absolutely. Alright, so we're 55 minutes in. I see there's a lot more comments, but I do have to end this stream. Sorry for those of you that are just joining and asking questions. Hopefully you can join us in our next stream. Thanks everyone who joined and asked questions. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Stay tuned for my reaction to tonight's episode and also to my trailer breakdown of the upcoming episode. And from there, stay tuned for my review, prediction, and all of those videos that we usually do for The Walking Dead. That's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys soon.